Hi everyone, welcome to Michelin King live in the factory. So today I'm just going to go through our top 10 best selling products. So to start off with, we have a product called Quick Detailer. So we're just doing some packing as well, so I thought I'd give you a look at the popular items. So Quick Detailer, or QD as it's known within our range, is, in a word, in my opinion, this is the best quick detailer on the market. It's really easy to use. It gives a phenomenal level of gloss to your paint. It adds protection to your paint again. So if you're into cars, this is the Rolls Royce. Good morning, John, how you doing? If you're into your tools, this is the Festool. If you're into your painting and decorating, this is the Purdy level. So very high quality, made in the UK as well, so to a very high standard, even down to things like we call them the fixtures and fittings. So you've got the child safety cap. It's only a few pence more than the normal cap. The quality is much higher. It's also resistant to being bumped as well. Now, the other thing that makes a huge difference to your product is the spray head that you're supplied with. We've tried an incredible amount of spray heads over the years, everything from the big brands right down to the smaller guys. Now, we think we've hit the money with this one, mainly because you've got the filter that isn't the large filter at the bottom, so you get a small filter, means it doesn't get bumped when it goes into the bottle. You've got the proper fitment as well. The lid is separate to the head. That's really important, so it means you're not stressing the head as you're tightening the lid. Also means you can hold on to this as you tighten it. So a couple of things there. But the main thing, and the main positive with this is it doesn't leak. So the biggest brand that we chose and we used to run with, we had terrible issues with them leaking. And when we looked into it, we noticed that there wasn't the wadding inside. Now, it's very important, if you've got a PET, so a recyclable bottle like this, you must use a foam insert. You can't use a foil because the foil doesn't seal properly. So that's why you've got the foam. Last but not least, and very important, you've got a twist style nozzle as well. So you can actually change from a fine spray or a jet to the mist as well. So again, really important when you're choosing your quick detailer. Next up on the list is Pure. So Pure is just, fun enough, getting bottled just now, so I don't have one to hand, unfortunately. However, Pure is our pre-wax cleaner, or more commonly known as a car polish. It does a bit of everything, but it does it really well. Again, you're up at the very top level with Pure, but price-wise, you're only coming in at $12.99. So $12.99 for half a litre. One of the things I would say is you won't use a lot of Pure. Pure is really only to clean the paint prior to waxing, or to take off old waxes and sealants. It won't remove ceramic coatings, but it will take off your traditional acrylic polymer sealants or silicon-based sealants, and it will also remove carnauba or your more traditional based paste waxes. It's a phenomenal product. We've had it on our shelves. We've made it for about 13 years now. It's always been, this is our #2 bestseller. Quick Detailer is our #1, and there is a reason. They're phenomenally good at what they do. So, you've got the Quick Detailer, you've got the Pure. Up next, it's an accessory. So, from our magic box below, these are indispensable. If you enjoy your car detailing at any level, no matter what it is, these are absolutely indispensable. And the reason being, excuse me whilst I get rid of the jacket. The reason being is they're 4 inches, so let's take them out the packing. 4 inches, perfect size for your palm. Most important thing, the biggest issue that we run into when we're using applicator pads, especially outside of, when you're in an outside environment, if this drops onto the floor, it's as near as, you know, it won't wash out. You're better off just putting it in the bin for what it costs. However, we have managed, we've got the elastic on the back, so the possibility of dropping this has reduced dramatically. We sell lots and lots of these. They come in 10 packs. Traditionally they come in 10 packs. You can buy them in other quantities. Most people go with the 10 because you can use them for everything from, you know, doing a soft clean on your interior leather. You can use it for treats. You can use it for the new interior detailing spray that we've got, cabin. You can use it to apply sealants, even remove sealants if you so wish. If you don't want the microfiber cloth, you can use this bit out the box that people do it. You can use it to apply the waxes as well. Basically, you can use this to apply any product onto the paint or plastic. Some people use them for tyre dressing as well, just to get more control over the rim of the tyre, so that you've got that nice overlap and it's nice and even. So lots of different uses for these. Brilliant product. Next up we have our air fresheners. We probably, of all companies in the industry that offer air fresheners, even taking in the likes of room spray companies and whatnot, we probably offer more fragrance choice than anybody. Now that's a bit of a fault on us, mainly because we make a lot of bespoke and custom made waxes, so we have to buy in fragrances for those waxes. If a customer turns around and says, John, I've just came back from a trip in, let's say, Italy, the Amalfi Coast, I love the citrusy freshness and the ocean breeze type of smell, and straight away I think, right, we can get a fragrance for that, but we'll need to buy it in. And typically when I buy one in, I'll buy a few more just to try them and see, you know, if there's anything else that would be also popular, also people might fancy. I'm looking at the fragrances just now. There must be about 50 or so on the shelf, at least on the shelf. So this is the air freshener here. Biggest difference between this and most other car air fresheners is it's not water-based. Water-based air fresheners are no good for a continually changing environment. And what I mean by that is open windows, open doors, air conditioning on, heating on, so there's constantly this change of air. That's why, as a guy, if you buy a really high quality fragrance, say something like Creed, that's I guess a well-known brand, Creed offer fragrances that last all day, and it's because the concentration of fragrance to the carrier is so high. But again, you think it's quite expensive, but if you buy the £50 version, you're probably finding that it's running out towards the end of the office day, unless there are a lot of fragrances at the moment coming over from the Arabian Peninsula, and they're very, very strong just due to the heat and perspiration, etc. It has to be a stronger fragrance. However, they are limited to the more oud, sandalwood, you know, the stronger, I guess you would say masculine fragrances, simply because the lighter stuff just lasts the same amount. It doesn't really matter if you increase the concentration, because it is a lighter fragrance. It gets Indian Lime is a perfect example of this. It's quite a light fragrance, specifically for after maybe you've had a wet shave, you would use that, but it won't last all day and it won't tickle somebody's nose if you're in the office. So these air fresheners here, very high quality. We use roughly between 2 to 5 times the fragrance content of the industry standard for room sprays, and it's just so that you get that fragrance that lasts. If you're looking for something that does last in the car, look towards more heady fragrances or more earthy ones, so things like sandalwood, cologne would be a great one to start off with. It's our most popular fragrance. It's an amberwood fragrance, very masculine, perfect for the car. But also we've got, you know, umpteen wives, girlfriends, partners that have all said, I really like this. Is it something that we can buy as a cologne elsewhere? As far as I'm aware, no. It's a product that we have blended and we've used for a long time, so I'm not sure if there's an equivalent on the market, but there'll probably be something else. As I said, it's quite a woody fragrance, so if you're looking for that for the house, or for yourself rather, then you're looking towards more amber and fruit fragrances. I think Dolce & Gabbana, the one, would have that amber and wood, but you also need the freshness as well, so you maybe look for a kind of summertime fragrance. There are a lot of people that want to wear it as their cologne or aftershave, but as I'm pretty sure it's not a clone of anything, so it isn't really available on the market as a like for like, but you can probably pick something up that's close. Right, next up, carpet stripe tools. Again, we'll just go for the top 10. Carpet stripe tools, it's the way that the professionals get their stripes into the carpet. You can use them up and down the way. The way to use the carpet stripe tool is, if your carpet's flat like that, don't dig this end in first. You have to do it this way. The reason being is the silicone mould is over the plastic sleeve here, and you'll just push it back. It is only silicone, so it is soft. But you want to push down on this side and drag back, so you're really only using about 3/4 of the carpet stripe tool. Don't put the whole thing on and drag it back like this, because it will roll. So that's the trick to this. A lot of people use stiff brushes. They're not as good. With the stiff brushes, you can imagine the bristles flare out and you get this funny, it looks okay on camera, but in real life you'll see this slight deviating edge to it. So that's why you need something like this. Again, brilliant tool, wouldn't be without it. It'll even pick up bits and pieces that the vacuum's not managed to. So I have one for a carpet stripe tool, and then I have one that I actually do a deep clean on the carpets with. So again, brilliant thing to have. We are at Spa now. Interestingly enough, this was probably based off of the old Spa V1. As some of you may know, we now make our own shampoo right here in-house, and I'm very proud of it. So let's have a look at it. This is completely natural. It's, in our opinion, we tested lots and lots of different blends, and this is pH 7, so it's bang on where it needs to be. If you've got any type of carnauba wax, yeah, so as they've said, you've got the top and the tip here. I'll open this actually to give you a better look, and I'll come round. So let's have a look at it here. Right, so as you can see, you've got the silicone here. The reason that this is silicone is so that it can go over the, I guess, maybe a polypropylene or acrylic, maybe PET in fact, I'm not too sure. It doesn't have a stamp on it unusually. Now it's so that it can fit over this. The other reason is so that if anything goes in there, you can actually, hello, how are you doing? You can actually just clean out that area as well, so it is flexible. Now, as you'll notice, the dots start about 5mm from the edge, and you don't need a lot of pressure to get the stripes in. So as you can see, I'm barely putting anything on, especially, it'll depend a lot, thanks very much for that order there, just some of the things we're talking about. It'll depend very much on the pile of the carpet. Obviously, the better the pile of the carpet, the nicer the stripes. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of manufacturers are going down the cheaper end. But if you do have a nice carpet pile, then you'll find this much easier to use. So that's really what you're aiming to do. You want to essentially engage, that's the best word. You're looking to engage these dimples here, and you're not wanting to do this, which is pull that back. Do you see that? Now it won't do anything. I mean, it won't curl up, or it won't damage over time. It's silicone. If anything, put it in hot water and it will go back to its original shape. Silicone's one of these great materials where it's inert and it has no feelings or anything like that, so you can just kind of do what you want. Very tough, very resilient. That's why it's so popular, and that's why I would say it's not a bad thing in car chemicals to have silicone. You don't, if you're an end user, a consumer user, you don't need to really bother if a car product has silicone inside there, unless you're working in a body shop, or even if you go to get your car resprayed, they'll use something like panel wipe or what's called U-Pol, one of the brands, to get rid of that silicone. And there's not enough silicone in, even a rinse aid to cause a huge amount of problem. The main issues with silicone would be if it's not wiped down, and that's down to the sprayer. That's not down to you. So that's why a lot of body shop companies will just use silicone free, because it means there's a room for error, essentially. And that's the way that it's been drilled in. But silicone polishes are far easier to use. They don't dry out as quickly, especially not in the heat that we've got just now. Water-based polishes require more finesse, I would say, in my opinion. They're more difficult to use. You typically need a spray bottle just to keep the polish working as well, depending on the hardness of the paint. So if you've got Volkswagen, Audi group car, a Mercedes, especially the ceramic clear stuff, you're really wanting a long working product, or a long work polish. How do we make a long work polish? Silicone. Because silicone typically it will never dry out as quickly as water will. It will allow you to work the abrasives much longer. Far better product to deal with, far better, far superior to any water-based product. And again, as an end user myself, I don't work in a body shop or anything like that. I always reach for the silicone-based products. Always. The only time that I'll negate a silicone-based product is for something maybe like interior trim dressing. But even at that, we've made a new product called Cabin, and it is a silicone-based product. But you wouldn't know, because silicone-based products, we're led to believe, are typically high gloss. It just depends on the ratio that you've used. Silicone doesn't have to be a high gloss product. A lot of emulsions, so to speak, paint emulsions that are matte, will still have some kind of lubricant in there. I think the issue that we're coming up against here is, the minute we think of silicone, we think of oil. And it doesn't have to be like that, because you can mix silicone with an emulsion, with matte material, to bring that sheen down, and that is exactly what we've done. The silicone in the product makes it workable. It means that when you're applying it to a warm dash, it doesn't flash off straight away, and it leaves a much more consistent and even finish. Now, the difference between oil-based, not silicone, but oil-based trim finishes and water-based is oil will yellow over time. And you see this more so on tyres. You'll see this kind of brown effect. That's the solvent, the oil, just going off, so to speak. It's oxidising, it's kind of coming to the end of its life, c'est la vie. But it's probably lasted longer. Shot for shot, now let's go shot for shot. If you've got a pure water-based dressing that doesn't have any, ceramics or hidden silicones in there, your solvent-based dressing will look better. It won't if applied correctly, it won't slime the same way, because solvent will flash off and give you a much more, it'll give you a nicer, even finish, and it'll last a lot longer. This is why we don't use water-based sealants. Look at ceramics. Ceramics are not water-based and they last a long time. So that's, you know, I would end the conversation at that point. If you've got friends that say, oh no, water-based is the way to go, it's blah blah blah. The one issue with water-based, unless you mix it with lots of other stuff, is it doesn't last. Now, that was just a spin-off, but one of these things is we want to spread the knowledge that I'm gaining over time to you guys. There's no point me harbouring this, because it's great to know. It means that if you pick something off the shelf and you check the MSDS funding, you pick a tyre dressing and you think, well, this looks quite nice, smells nice, you know, bright orange colour, whatever it is, but then it's water-based, I would go for the solvent, just because it'll be a nicer finish, it'll last longer, and it won't wash off. One of the biggest issues you've got with water-based products is they wash off unless you fill them with other stuff. And of course water won't work on its own, but I just struggle to see the point of pushing the water-based stuff too heavily. For me, it's all about giving you the best product, and water-based tyre dressing is definitely not the best product. This is why our tyre dressing is so popular. So let's continue on with our top 10. That's the carpet stripe tool. Next up we have our Snowform, which is another brand new product. I'll just put a cap on this one here. So this Snowform's slightly different. Now, interestingly enough, Snowform is probably the most confused product, if it had feelings, of any detailing product. Snowform doesn't know if it wants to be pH neutral, if it wants to be alkaline, if it wants to strip the wax off your paint, or if it wants to just help you wash the car. So that's why we've got two Snowforms. The most popular one is, it's always the same, the one that's got the most reviews and the one that's near the top of the website will always sell more than the one that's further down. So this Snowform here is a pH neutral Snowform, and it's there to assist in reducing swirls, general wash marks, and to help soften the dirt. pH 7 or pH neutral products won't typically take too much dirt off the paint, and I hear the town criers already saying, what's the point, you know, why use it, it's a waste of time. It's belts and braces stuff. I'll use this on the car to begin with, just to give me some lubrication between the pressure washer and the paint. Nothing really more than that. And it will take off slightly more than the pressure washer will on its own, and I can rest easy thinking I've got some kind of soapy a customer. I will phone you back the minute we're finished. So for me, it's just giving an extra layer of protection. For me, it's a must-have. It's something that I always use. Again, it's our third best, most popular, whatever you want to call it, selling product, liquid, sorry, that we offer. Well, fourth in something else though, and it's called HD Snow. So it's the heavy duty version of this. It's an alkaline based product. Now what that's designed to do, it's on the same ilk as Exile and Citrus. So you're going more towards your touchless wash. Now what a touchless wash means is, you know, this is where it gets a bit convoluted. A touchless wash, unfortunately, unless you're using a really caustic material, will probably still leave behind some debris and some grime. That most of us, as enthusiastic, you know, keen-eyed detailers, weekend warriors, whatever you like to call us, we'll notice that. So even the heavy duty TFRs out there, you still need to follow up with a wash to get the car as close to perfect. It's fine in the winter, but even still in the winter, I'll still break out the spa, I'll do a Snowform, I'll break out the spa and I'll still wash the car properly. I'll just probably do it a day where the sun's shining for 20 minutes or whatever. So if you're looking for a heavier duty Snowform, that's what to go for. If you want something where it will eat away at the dirt and the grime, but bearing in mind it will also eat away at your wax and your sealants, just like citrus pre-washes will. Any pre-wash that is alkaline, caustic, TFI, all of this type of stuff, it will all eat away at the coating on the car. It can't decipher the difference between a layer of dirt or grime and your wax. Now, one of the reasons that I love wax so much is it's detergent resistant, and these are Spa and Snow are detergent based products, but they're pH neutral, so the wax will last longer. So it's really, really important that you don't need to follow what you're seeing online in terms of bearing in mind a detailer might not see a car every week, and this is where it's so pertinent. This information is so important. If you ask a pro detailer, when was the last time, if you've got a monthly wash, they're not washing that car every month. So it's okay to reach for the citrus. In my opinion, as a car care manufacturer, now I'm shooting myself in the foot here because I could sell more stuff, but I want you to have the best finish that you've ever had, and that's why Michelin King can do that. We can do this for you. So you don't need to use the pre-wash. I don't use the pre-wash every time. I use citrus maybe once every month, maybe. I use Exile once every 6 months. Now Exile is a heavier duty pre-wash. You spray that on, you pressure wash it off, there's hardly anything left, but that'll also impact the sealant and the wax behind it. So that's why I tread lightly with Exile. It's got its place. I use it if I've got lots of waxes to trial throughout the year. So if I want to strip something off, I'll reach for the heavy duty Snowform, the Exile and the strip shampoo, and that'll knock it on the head. There's very few products out there that will it's like using, I don't know, an RPG to drill a hole, a 6mm hole in the side of your house. So this stuff, is ballistic. It will really go for the wax or the sealant, and that's why it's so popular, because it's just a one-step system. Really easy to use, really easy to follow. So that's why it's so important to have some knowledge about the products that you're using and how aggressive they are. We like to dress products up such as citrus pre-wash because you think, oh, oranges and lemons. But the reality is they're very, very alkaline based products, and the reason that you're seeing such great results from them is they're not only eating the grime, and they're degreasers. That's what they are. That's what these products are. That's why they work so well. You really want a degreaser for your car, but strangely enough, we shy away from using washing up detergent. You can't put the two and two together, it doesn't make sense. They're both of the same family, both alkaline degreasers. Obviously there are some differences. Your washing up detergent is probably a lot stronger, but again, when I first started becoming interested in detailing, you didn't have decontamination shampoos. People just reached for fairy liquid, Dawn dish soap, and stripped the paint off, and stripped the wax of the sealant off. Just to let you know, Fairy and Dawn, your products don't strip paint. So that's an official statement. And I used it myself, and the car looked fantastic after it. I wasn't worried about it. You hear about you know, it'll dry the paint out. Yeah, if you use it every day, but you know, you're not using it every day. So, but there are now products specifically made for the automotive industry. We make our own strip, which is the Decon shampoo, and it'll, you know, it'll knock most waxes and things like that on the head within one application. So next up we have Kensington, named after our lovely palace that we have, and it is royal purple as well. So Bonnie Prince Charlie, if you're watching this, we're thinking of you. So these come in a pack of 12. You can also buy them individually, or we have other options on the website as well. I know I say this about nearly everything that we offer, but this is probably, okay, this is the best cloth at this price point that you'll get. Nothing else comes close. It's double-sided, it's edgeless, it's thick, it's plush. You don't need to buy into these massive 1400 weight cloths. For me, as a drying cloth, they're far too heavy, they're far too cumbersome. The biggest, or the largest cloth that we offer is about 1,000 gram, and even at that, when it gets wet, it's quite heavy. And this is one of the things, if you are an end user rather than a professional, these are all the things that fatigue, because you're working a normal 9-to-5 job during the week. This is a hobby. You don't want to be using something where you think, oh, that was, you know, a ton weight to try and drag around the car. Much better off using an 800 gram, I'll show you in fact, much better off using something like this. So this is our Highlander cloth here. As you can see, it's about an arm's length, perfect size. Don't need to buy anything that's too big. These cloths that you see that are coming out to the market, flooding the market at the moment, they cover half a bonnet. Excuse me. They're far too big, they're unmanageable, they're boisterous to use, they're far too heavy once they get water inside, and they're an absolute pig to dry. Unless, you know, most of us, you know, hands up, we take our cloth, and this probably comes from our more trade and pro oriented side of the company. We've got our clip for our cloth, and it goes onto the garage wall. Or you've got a hook and it hangs there. This is 800 grams, and look at how thick that is. Can you imagine you've got a 1200, a 1400 gram cloth? You're probably going to have to put roll plug fixings in so that that can just hang properly. So it's all about, we've been doing this a really long time now. My first interaction with detailing, I was 18 years old. I'm now sadly 38. So 20 years of industry experience at the higher level, at the pro level as well. So I've learned a lot of tricks and tips along the way, and this is why I want to pass these on. Much like any type of manual labour, the tools are the most important thing. There's lots of guys out there that say, oh, I just go to, you know, I just buy the cheap cloths, they're fine. They're not. Look, here's the cheap cloths. We got sent these as a prototype, right? This is the cheap cloth. Look at the stretch in this. Faddy form, look at that. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen overnight, but this is what you're up against. You know, if you constantly use this cloth, I'll just show you how thin it is. That. You could obviously do this with other cloths, but that came apart far too easily. You know, the quality is just abysmal. You hold it up to the light and it looks, you know, there's just not enough fabric in there. I do apologise, whoever sent those over, we got some company from China sent us them, but they're woeful. You know, the quality is absolutely shocking. Look at the difference. You've got a nice edge into it, much more plush, even a cheaper cloth. You know, This one here, £2.49. Okay, £2.49. Look at the difference. It's a full size cloth, that's the other thing. I'm going to a bit of a rant at the moment. This is the other thing that really, really irks me about microfiber cloths. You think you're getting a bargain. You think, oh, 10 cloths for £10, great. Look at the size difference. These are glass spectacle cleaning cloths, is what I presume these are. They're far too small to do anything else, and you need to fold them over 4 times for them to even be useful. And they come in a plethora of colours. I'd have probably made a better cloth before I start colouring them, but anyway. Other thing is stability of the dye. Lint free. So this is what makes the difference. Next up, what have we got next? Wax Plus. Oh, I do love Wax Plus. So Wax Plus is our, and I'll go and say it, industry leading ceramic spray wax. The concentration of ceramic in this is high, but very usable. Now, this single application will give you up to 6 months durability. 2 applications and you'll definitely get 6 months. It's as easy to use as a quick detailer. I use Wax Plus all the time, all the time. If I've stripped the car back and I don't have time to test the waxes, I'll just break this out and I can do the car. We've got a 4x4, it's a smaller one. I can probably get around the car in less than 5 minutes because all I'm doing is spraying it on the paint, buffing it off, job done. No streaks, no smudges, nothing. And you've got silicon dioxide. It's not, as we all know, SiO2. Ceramic is ceramic, but you've got different grades, different concentrations. Now, obviously if it's water soluble, then this won't last as long as, say, our proper ceramic pro coatings, but it doesn't take as long to put on. Doesn't matter if it gets wet, it does a job. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I think we are, for £13.99 for half a litre. Again, we make it in the UK, it's not imported in. Quality and ingredients are very high, and we've made sure that we're at the upper levels of this SiO2 content so that you get, we could dilute this down and it would still be a good product, it just wouldn't be as good. And for Michelin King, we all make mistakes, we all have errors in our day and whatever, but with the products we do try our very best to give you the very, very best. So we're at number 9, so we've got one more to go. Of course, it's the big boy. I was wondering when these were coming up. The work cloths. Kensingtons are absolutely great. I use them for the sealants, the polish, even the waxes now. The work cloths are exactly that. These are a high quality, washable microfiber that you can use for everyday jobs. They are 300 grams. They're a full 16 by 16 inches. They come in a variety of different sizes. Most people are just picking up the bags of 12. We've had guys that are buying all different microfibers and they'll buy the work cloth in the Kensington. I've got a pro detailer that comes in here and he buys the liquids and whatever, but it's always the same. Have you got the Kensingtons in? Have you got the work cloths in? So these are his go-to cloths. These are his go-to cloths, yes, sorry. Fold them over 4 times and you've got 1200 grams between your hand and the paint. Phenomenal. What we'll do for the cloths, again, I like to get a bit of a, hi, how you doing? A bit of a close-up on these. Big difference, hold them up to the light, can't see through them. Other thing you've got is a threaded edge as well. Super, super soft, 80-20 mix as well, which in my mind is the mix that we try and always opt for. It gives you a blend between quality of product and also the flexibility. Plus the other thing is they're a lot easier to wash. If you've got a lot of synthetics in there, they're too static. So if you're using this to wipe down something like your sat-nav screen, if you've got a high level of polyester in there, it's an absolute pig because you've just basically charged the screen. You close the door, you come back in, you think, oh, what was the point? If you do have a sat-nav screen, pick up our super soft detailing brushes. I keep one in the car all the time, and even if we're in traffic or whatever, sorry officer if you're watching, the car is parked, I just dust down the sat-nav, or what we've all got now, these infotainment screens that you can never turn off, and you can't see them if they're in direct sun or whatever. Wonderful invention, whoever did that, thanks very much. So that's us, that's the top 10 products. Get yourself onto the website, buy a rake of stuff, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Especially check out things like the best sellers, because they are definitely the products that you're guaranteed to love. So check out the Quick Detailer, the Spa, the Snow, or the Wax Plus. See what you think. You've got the spray heads as well. Pick an air freshener, you know, try something different. Try the higher quality products, and I swear to you, the difference is sizable. You know, the products are so good. They make the job easier, you use less of them, and the car looks better. And that's what we all want. We want the best looking car on the block. Take care guys, bye bye.